Hi, folks. I'm Chris Dorr. I'm the director here at Ohio Gun Owners. And in this short video, I'm going to talk about the two candidates running to represent you in House District 28 right there in Hamilton County. This is an open seat. There is no incumbent. And I'm going to break down where these candidates stand on your right to keep and bear arms. If you're pro-gun, if you're pro-Second Amendment, and pro-family, pro-freedom, pro-life, you're going to want to watch this video. There is so much on the line, and it matters so much about who we pick to represent us at the State House. Now, there is certainly a concerted effort to try to attack pro-gun legislators and replace them with pro-gun control legislators. And we're going to break down where both of these candidates stand for you, so you guys can make your own decisions about who you want representing you at the State House. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about Democrat Karen Brownlee. So number one, there's a phrase that goes something like, you can tell a lot about a person by who their friends are. That has never rang more true than it does about politicians and the organizations that endorse and fund their campaigns. So jumping over here and talking about Karen Brownlee, the Democrat, first and foremost, she is endorsed by Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg is the godfather of gun control, and he's the financier of the entire gun control movement across America. He's trying to he's funding the fight to pass gun control at the state and federal levels. So the fact that she's endorsed by Bloomberg means that she must support some of the policy. So let's give her a red X, and then let's look at some of the policy here. She supports universal gun registration. This gives the state the ability to track, trace, and register gun owners like sex offenders. And the bill that Karen Brownlee wants to support here, pass for Ohio, doesn't even apply to criminals. Doesn't apply to killers, thieves, rapists, murderers. None of that stuff. It does not apply to them. Universal gun registration is all about making sure law-abiding citizens come in and register their guns with the state. It outlaws the private sale of firearms between two free individuals unless they register them. That's ridiculous. Criminals don't stand in line to register their guns, but Karen Brownlee wants to pass that and ram that down gun owners' throats. That's another big red X. She supports red flag gun confiscation. Red flag laws are simply the destruction of due process for gun owners because they allow anybody to petition a judge to have your guns taken away from you without you ever being charged, tried, or convicted of a crime. And the first you know about it is at 5:30 in the morning when your door is getting no-knock raided. One of the worst problems with this bill that Karen Brownlee wants to pass is that it allows an accuser to enter into evidence the fact that somebody recently acquired a firearm as evidence, as justifiable cause to have that firearm taken away from them. Literally, the exercising of a right, according to Karen Brownlee, is justification to strip that right away. One of the big problems that we've been seeing, and I got to give her a red X for this, one of the problems that we've been seeing in states that have passed this awful law is that it's being weaponized in divorce court and child custody court. If somebody can go and get their significant other red flagged, well, now that's a gun charge that they can use to gin up support for their child custody case. So bad stuff. Karen Brownlee wants that for Ohio. Unbelievable. She also supports mandatory gun lockup laws. This came to light just a couple of weeks ago. They call them safe storage laws, but Kamala Harris herself said that the purpose of these laws is so that state actors can have access to your home, to invade the sanctity of your home. That's her words, not mine, and do government gun inspections to make sure that you're storing your firearms the way they think is safe. Now, we checked. Karen Brownlee never said anything about America pulling out of Afghanistan and leaving billions of dollars worth of real weapons of war on the streets of Afghanistan. Those weapons, those machine guns, are being used against innocent Afghanis that were allies of the United States. Did Karen Brownlee ever say anything about the way we stored those firearms and left them behind? No, of course not. Red X for that. It's preposterous to think that these people would be able to come into your homes and inspect your house. That's a total violation of your constitutional right to be safe in your person against unreasonable searches and seizures, by the way, but she doesn't care about that. She supports repealing Ohio's constitutional carry law. This is insane. This is a non-controversial issue. It's on the books in 29 different states already. It simply says that government is out of the rights regulation business. If you're a law-abiding, peaceful citizen, you shouldn't have to beg government permission to defend yourself and your loved ones and your families. It's pretty non-controversial, but she wants to repeal that. She also wants to repeal Ohio's self-defense statutes. I forgot to give her a red X for that one. She literally wants it so that if you're ever forced into a situation where you're facing a rapist, a killer, a murderer, a thug, a violent criminal, whatever, that you should be able to prove to the court afterwards, when they're all sitting there in slow motion, judging what happens in this millisecond, you should be able to prove to the court that you tried to retreat enough steps before taking action to defend yourself. She literally wants Ohio law to favor the criminal instead of the citizen. I think that's preposterous. We all do here at Ohio Gun Owners, but that's what Karen Brownlee wants for Ohio. She also supports a ban on AR-15s and any semi-automatic firearms, Ruger 1022s, Remington 1187 shotguns, Glock 43Xs that so many people carry to defend themselves against thugs and criminals. Here's the deal. The Second Amendment is about being a deterrent to tyranny. The founding fathers presumed that you had the right and ability to defend yourselves against common criminals. In the 20th century, we don't have to look very, very far back to get real life examples of this. In the 20th century alone, governments murdered over 100 million of their own citizens that were unable to defend themselves. The founding fathers knew, looking back in history, they knew that governments can become tyrannical. Looking forward, they said, you know what, we got to do something to make sure our own government that we leave behind never succumbs to that temptation. That's why they codified the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights. It was not about deer hunting. It's about a long-term deterrence to tyranny. Well, Karen Brownlee here wants to ban it. She wants to ban the tools that we own to stop that from ever happening. And to sit here and pretend that our government could never become like that is ludicrous. It's human nature. And all through human history, people have turned this way. Absolute power is corrupting absolutely, and these people fall temptation to it. So that's Karen Brownlee. Let's switch over here and talk about Jenn Giroux for a minute. All right, enough of the bad news. Let's talk about some good news. Jenn Giroux, she's never been in office before. So we reached out to her, gave her a candidate questionnaire, said, we want you to go on record on all these things. And I've got some great news for you. She filled out her survey 100% in favor of your gun rights. We asked her a series of, I think it was 10 questions, very tough questions. In fact, our gun rights survey is the toughest survey in the entire state of Ohio when it comes to the Second Amendment. She aced it. She aced it. She answered every single question correctly. She said she'll vote no on universal gun registration, no on red flag gun confiscation, no on banning the tools we need to protect ourselves and deter tyrants. She's also on the pro-gun side. She said she'd vote yes on SAPA. This is a fantastic bill. Simply means that Ohio cops, which are paid for by Ohio taxpayers to uphold Ohio laws, which we elect them to pass in Columbus, those cops aren't going to be Joe Biden or any federal government's gun control enforcers. So I'm making sure they uphold Ohio laws. Fantastic. Jenn Giroux says, yeah, I'm all about that. Sign me up. She said she'll support it. She said she'd support overhauls on Ohio's self-defense statutes and constitutional carry statutes. We've passed the majority of those, but there's some cleanup language that needs to be done yet. She said, yeah, let's do it. I'm all about that. If you see Jenn Giroux on the campaign trail, walk right up to her and tell her thank you for having the courage of her convictions to go on record on this stuff. So many times politicians, they listen to their high-price consultants, and their consultants are telling them, don't appear too extreme, don't put everything out there, blah, 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 blah. She's like, no, I know what I believe what I say. I'm going to put this out there and let voters know that if they elect me, they're going to have a champion of freedom. So if you see her out on the campaign trail, thank her for that. If you see Karen Brownlee on the campaign trail, this lady right here, tell her that kind of stuff, this whole gun control agenda that she wants to pass, that might go in those sissy Brits for those sissy Brits over there in England. This is 2024 in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. This isn't the home of tyranny. You want to pass that stuff, you better time travel back to 1945 Germany or Japan or Italy or something like that. Not here, not in America. So I wanted you guys to have this information so that you can make your own decisions about who you want representing you. You know what? I forgot something. I got to give these people some scores. I think we need to give old Karen here, a true Karen in every sense of the word. She gets an F rating for this right here, for all that. That's an F rating. Absolutely, she's earned that F. You see Jenn Giroux? Yeah, she's earned it. She's earned an A rating right there. We'll give it to her right now. There's a lot on the line in these elections. So, folks, I'm asking you guys to share this video with all of your pro-gun friends, family, loved ones, neighbors, co-workers, church family members. Share it around. Make sure they know what's at stake here, where these candidates stand. There is a lot on the line in these elections. My whole life, everybody always, every election cycle, everybody's like, it's the most important election of our lifetime. I think we're getting there. I think we've arrived. The radical left is making no effort to hide what they really want to do anymore. When people like me used to say 5-10 years ago that they want to confiscate, they want to ban certain firearms, people always used to jump into the comment section and say, oh, nobody's trying to do blah, blah, blah. They're openly campaigning on it now. They're making it a pillar of their attempts to get elected. There's a lot on these. There's a lot on the line in these elections. So grab your friends. On November 5th, round them all up, get them out of bed, drag them out to a coffee shop, wake them up. Make sure they get off of work on time. Head down to your local polls and vote pro-gun.